Hey everybody, Paulie Cicero back here again. This is the Kentucky Fried Chicken episode that I've been promising you. It's important to note that Kentucky Fried Chicken uses pressure cooking with a pressure cooker, and we're just going to be deep frying. So there is going to be a little bit of a difference, but I think we can get pretty close. I got all the herbs and spices, and which I will be letting you know what they are as we go. Important for you to mark those down. It's also important to know that you should use room temperature chicken. If you use cold chicken, it's going to take longer to fry because the center is going to be. You don't want the center to be raw when you're done frying. So room temperature chicken. I'm also using peanut oil. It's supposed to be the best to fry chicken and poultry in general. You can also use canola oil or vegetable oil. Don't use olive oil, and don't use sunflower seed oil. The oil temperature is going to be around 325 to 335. That's important, so you need to get a thermometer for deep frying, because that's important. It's really, really key. It's important that you do all these things. So you can't, because if you overheat the oil, the chicken's going to be real dark and burnt, and it changes the flavor. So you want to be as true as possible. So 325, 335, that's the max. You're going to cook this stuff at about somewhere around 15, maybe 20 minutes. It all depends. I got thighs, so I'm going to go. If you got legs, you can probably go 17 minutes. If you got wings, less time, obviously, for smaller pieces. I've got thighs, so I'm going to try to go around 18 to 20 minutes. Okay, I got all thighs. Anyway, so I got all the stuff kind of laid out. Make sure you got your chicken trimmed and rinsed and drained. You want to kind of pat it dry. We're also going to do like an egg wash, milk and egg wash on the chicken before we put it in the flour. You'll see that. So without further ado, let's get this. Okay, so here we are. I got 2 cups of flour, 2 cups white flour, all-purpose flour, 2 cups. Okay, absolutely white flour, 2 cups of flour in my container. I have what I believe to be all my spices laid out here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is salt. 2/3 of a teaspoon. Everything's going to be in teaspoons. Okay, everything's in teaspoons. 2/3 of a teaspoon of salt. Okay, so we have our salt, and we have our teaspoon, and obviously this is going to be a guesstimate, but it's going to be pretty close guesstimate. Okay, so there you go, 2/3 of a teaspoon of salt. Just dump it right in. Okay, so that's done. Next, 1/2 a teaspoon of thyme. I ain't got no time. Get it? Well, whatever. Okay. So this is ground thyme. You want to use ground. Okay, so ground thyme. We're going to put in 1/2 a teaspoon. So we're going to do 1/2 a teaspoon. It's more than half. I'm going to knock some out. It's not real easy to do. It's not real easy to do. Okay, so that's about 1/2 a teaspoon, I think. Maybe a little less. That's the most difficult thing is, the fractions, but that's about 1/2. Okay, so 1/2, that goes in there. 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. So we're done with the thyme. We're done with the salt. Okay, next, 1/2 teaspoon of basil. Now basil, I got over here. The basil is, I had to get special from the interweb. I sealed it. I'm going to open up the sealed bag like that. Okay, so here is my basil. Now I use ground basil. And I just cut a little notch in the side here so that I can get to it. The reason I vacuum seal is very pungent. The odor is amazing. Okay, so this is going to be another half a teaspoon. So let's do it here. This isn't no game. You got to be pretty exact when it comes to this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to say that's pretty close. So there's a half a teaspoon of the ground basil. Bang. So that's in. I'm going to have to seal this up again later. I'm going to make sure I remember. Okay. So there's that. Where are we now? We are, by the way, I have, just so you know, I have the oil on. It's already on super, like a medium. There's my, it says medium. And you can see I'm up to 175 on the thermometer. So I'm bringing it up slow, which is very easy to do when you have all these ingredients to use. Okay, so now we're on 1/3 a teaspoon of oregano. Here we go. Ground oregano. 1/3. Now again, you know, unless you got things that, I only have one that says 1 teaspoon, so I got to guess. But you're going to be pretty close. You know what half of that, you know, when you fill that up, that's one. Half of that is a half a teaspoon, you know. I mean, so you can guesstimate, but it's you can be pretty close when you guesstimate. I don't know if you noticed, but I like that word, guesstimate. Okay, so there's not much in here at all. Okay, so that's like 1/3 of a teaspoon. Bang, that goes in. Bam! I sound like Emerald. Bam! Okay, so that was the oregano. 1 teaspoon of celery salt. Okay, so here's the celery salt. 1 teaspoon. Woohoo! That's an easy one. Okay, so there's 1 teaspoon. Bang. Bam. I keep forgetting. It's bam. Okay, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Here's my black pepper. 1 teaspoon of this. Okay, there's 1 teaspoon black pepper. Bam! Just like that. Okay, we're rocking. 1 teaspoon of dry mustard. Uh-oh, what did I do with the dry mustard? Oh, here it is. Dry mustard. This is the ground mustard, okay? 1 teaspoon. So I like it when it's 1 teaspoon because that's the easiest. Okay, so there's 1 teaspoon. Bam! I mean, I got it that time. 1 teaspoon of the dry mustard. Now, 4 teaspoons of paprika. Woo! Boy, that's a big one. 4 teaspoons. I'm not going to show you every single one. 1. 2. 3. And what I do is, when I have a big container like this, I use the lid to scrape it flat. There's 4. Okay. 4. Man, that was a big one. 4 of those. Lots of paprika. Next, we have 2 teaspoons of garlic salt. 2 teaspoons. If you have a smaller container, by the way, this is garlic salt. And if you just take the top off, the shaker part, and it opens it up, you can put your spoon in there. So I need 2 of these. 1. There's a second one. 2. Okay. Put the snap back on. Put the lid back on. Okay, almost done. 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. Where's that ginger at? There go that ginger. 1 teaspoon ground ginger. Okay, here we go. Sorry, sneezed. Okay, 1 teaspoon ground ginger. Bam! And we are so close to being done right now with the spices. Now this one's important. This is like the 11th herb and spice, and it's a key part. So 3 teaspoons of white pepper. Not super easy to find. White pepper. But this is an important one, okay? So this is 3 teaspoons. Oh, wouldn't you know it? It doesn't fit in there. You dirty motherless son of a... Okay, so we gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, so there's 1. Bam! I better stop doing that. Emerald's gonna sue me. Copyright infringement. 2. Bam! Okay, there's 3. Pow! How about I just go pow? You know? What if I just did that? Pow every time. Okay, now, that's it. That's it for the spices. What we're going to do is, this is what it just looks like. We're going to take a whisk. We just want to integrate all that stuff, all of it. Mix it up thoroughly. Mix this up thoroughly with the white flour. Okay, so I'm going to use this. I'm just going to use my wooden spoon because I can get down in the cracks and crevices here of the bowl. Got some on my shirt. That's what happens when you got a big fat belly. Your shirt catches a lot of the stuff that's supposed to hit the floor. Okay. So, here we go. You can see it's got a little bit of a brown sugar tint to it because of all the spices in there. And so another part that you also want to remember is that you have to set yourself up a drip container, which is like this, okay? So when I take the chicken out of here, when I take it out when it's done, I want to put it on here so it drips down. I just put this is a cake pan, and I put the foil in there to catch the oil. I don't want to have to really wash out that cake pan afterwards, but it's going to drip down and catch the oil, and so the chicken, if you put it on a paper towel, it's going to absorb the oil, so it's going to be mushy instead of crispy. So anyway, so that's that. That's all the spices. That's that part. Our oil is now up to 245 probably. So we got a little ways to go. So what I'm going to do now while I'm waiting is I'm going to trim the chicken and get it ready, rinse it and get it ready and pat it dry and all that stuff. And so then I'll be ready. And my oil should be about at temperature. So I'm going to trim the chicken, rinse it, pat it dry, and then when we resume, I'm going to show you the egg wash, the milk and egg wash. So I'll see you back in a minute. Okay, we're back. I did the egg wash. I blended the items already. The egg wash consists of 1 cup of milk. I usually use whole milk, and 2 eggs. Okay, you put that together, and then you whisk the living hell out of it because you want it to be really well blended. Okay, so this is what it comes down to. Just looks like it just looks like milk. It might be a little discolored, might have a little bit of a funky color because of the egg yolks, but okay, so that's that. So now I want to show you, there's my egg wash. There's all my chicken. It's already trimmed and rinsed and patted dry. Here's my spices and flour. And here's my oil, which is now at about 325, which is perfect for what we want. So what I'm going to do, well, I might as well show you this way. So the first thing you do is you take a piece of chicken and you put it in the egg wash. Don't worry about getting your fingers dirty. You can always wash. Okay? Move that a little closer. Now when you're done, you want to pick it up and let it drip off a little bit. Right? Then you put it in here. Now this is your mixture. And you want this to be really coating your chicken. Squeeze it. Squeeze your chicken. Squeeze it. Force that stuff to stay on there. Okay? Force it. Okay. So there's one piece. Now we're going to do another piece. Put it in there. And get a good wash on it. Let it drip dry a little bit. Put it in here. Put it in here. Flip it over. Put it in here. Load it up with the flour mixture and squeeze it. Load up this side. Squeeze it. I mean, you really want to don't mangle the chicken like that hard, but you want to squeeze it. Like if you were shaking somebody's hand, you want to give it a good squeeze, okay? Alright, so now I'm just going to put that there because we want at least 3 pieces when we start. 3 to 4 pieces. You don't want to overcrowd your frying. Like that. And flip it over. Trust me, all this is well worth it. Squeeze it. Pinch some more on this side. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. You want it to be nice and coated. And then, here's a 4th piece. Now if the skin kind of looks like it's going to fall off, that's alright. That's okay. Because when you put it in here, all this is going to hold it together after you dump it into the mix. Okay? Squeeze it. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. That. Put some more on. Put some more on. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. You know, you really want to flip it around, make sure it's all okay. So now we're at 335, and that's as high as we want to go. And we want to put our chicken in. So I'm going to, well, hell, I'm going to put you down for just a second. Sorry. Okay. I just wanted to pull out the thermometer. Okay. So now we're going to shake off the excess and put that in. Shake off the excess and put that in. Shake off the excess, put that in. Shake off the excess, put that in. Okay, so now we have to notice the time, and like I said, these are thighs, so I'm going to plan on about 20 minutes. Okay, no more. It's got to be 20 minutes, okay? 18 to 20 minutes. All right, so I noticed the time. I'll see you back in 20 minutes. Okay, we're back. I am just moments away from taking this chicken out, and I've already actually skipped ahead. I've already done all the rest of the chicken. This is the last 3 pieces. And if you want to see, here's what the chicken looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and take this out because we're right at the line. Like that. Like that. And I got space for one more. Look at that. Whew. Look at that. Okay. I can turn this off. And now what we have is chicken. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take a piece of this chicken and I'm going to cut it open. I need to get a plate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it open so that you can see. It's so hard to do with one hand. I got to get a GoPro. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to use a paper plate. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of chicken that I just took out of there, like that. Okay. Well, it's easier this way, I think. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right next to the bone. I obviously can't do it while I have you here because I need 2 hands to cut. So I'm going to do that. And use the tongs. And I'm going to cut, let's see, I'm going to cut right here, right next to the bone. Cut it completely down. Okay, here we go. This is so that you can see it's beautiful. 100% cooked right to the bone. This is the bone over here on this side. There's the bone, you can see it. Absolutely gorgeous. Because I'm impatient. One of the first pieces I took out, I already tried it. It's not exact. And I talked about that at the beginning. It's not exact. But it's pretty close. We're not using a pressure cooker. We're just deep frying this. But pretty close. Very good chicken. The spices and stuff make a big difference. Again, keep it around 325 on the temperature. Be careful what oil you use. Use room temperature chicken. Make sure you drain it and not on a paper towel, on a rack. And less than 20 minutes, 18 minutes usually for thighs. Okay? Usually when the chicken is done, by the way, it's just a inside kind of tip. When the chicken is done cooking, it'll usually come up and float. Some people put it in a frying pan and cook only half, and then they flip it over. I'm using my hands here. Then they flip it over and cook the other side. I usually just put about that much oil in there so that when you put a piece of chicken in, it's completely covered. That way, like I said, then when it floats, that's usually the chicken telling you it's done. But anyway, it's about 18 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, but 18 minutes for for thighs because they're a little bit bigger. Anyway, that's about it. I really appreciate all your help with the likes and the subscriptions. But again, keep it up, like it, share it with everybody you know, because I really, really need to grow the channel. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so it lets you know every time I post a new video. Make suggestions, man. Let me know what you want. I had somebody offered up a suggestion for pancakes, and which is really awesome. I am absolutely terrible at making pancakes. I burn them every time. I don't know why. So I mean, I can try it, but I'm telling you ahead of time, I'm not the guy for pancakes. But anyway, like, share, subscribe. I appreciate everybody. It takes a family to build the channel, so please share with everybody you know, and I really appreciate all of you. So until next time, this is Paulie Cicero signing off. I appreciate you. I love you, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.